everybody. I'm glad that we're getting all our shopping done in these 2 hours. By the end of these 2 hours, you're going to be done, done, done. This next item is something from AT&T. It is a 5-piece cordless handset, but it has a feature that is called ConnecttoCell. So if you have a cell phone, it'll connect to the cell phone, so you don't have to run all over your house to find the cell phone. You can answer it on a handset, and we also are doing the most handsets that we've ever done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 handsets. Big, big deal. Now you're saving $50. It is free shipping and handling. We're doing the most flex pay that we ever do. It's 5. That means 5 months to pay it off with no interest. And we ship immediately, and it's the under the tree guarantee. And I'm gonna bring out our special guest, Bill Duggan, one of our top electronic experts here at the network. You know, my mom and dad, who, you know, they're 90 years old. They have handsets, but they have 2 of them. One split level 1970s house way up there and one down there. I often call them, it goes to voicemail, and then they call me back when they get to the phone several days later. Yeah, they're not fast, but they're still living on their own and doing great.
And that's just it, the landline levers. This might be not something
5
that was
handsets,
on your radar.
In other words, I love the idea of putting one everywhere.
That's just it, it's a small footprint. The nightstand, his or her side of the bed if you'd like.
I love
Even on either side of the couch, which is awesome. So this is the largest configuration we brought in, but more importantly, what AT&T has done is they've given us so many great features. You still have a landline and you love it, but you get 9 times out of 10, it's that solicitation call. Right. So what do? You ignore it. It rings at all hours of the day, because what happens is it rings, you have to answer it, and then you have to find the block button or politely excuse yourself. What AT&T has done is they pre-screen the calls. So only the calls get through if it's a human on the other side. So I'm gonna call these phones and you're gonna see how this works. So what you're gonna notice, it is going to ring on my end, but it's not ringing in the house. So all of a sudden, I'm getting this recording. I have to identify myself to get any further through the call process. A robot cannot do that. So it did not ring, it did not bother you during dinner or through that meeting, or it did not make your parents at 90 years old susceptible to those billions of calls a month. And you think it's a year, it's a month. So that's great for the landline. I got this from my mom last Thanksgiving. She's like, it was such a nice weekend. The phone wasn't ringing off the hook. The times it did ring, it was someone we wanted. What's also awesome about this, is that ConnecttoCell. So I'll be honest, I do not have a landline anymore. I'm all cellular. But you can connect 2 cell phones, Android or Apple. Doesn't have to be an AT&T service provider either. It could be T-Mobile, Verizon, whatever. Connect both cell phones to your base station, and now if you call your parents on their cell phone, but they left the cell phone upstairs, do you know where it's gonna ring? It's gonna ring on these handsets, which is just so convenient and awesome. So I'm gonna ring my cell phone right down here. And what
my mom doesn't turn her cell phone on because she doesn't want to waste it. I'm not joking.
That's just it.
My dad keeps it on, but he doesn't usually know where it is. So this is like so perfect.
See, it's ringing right over here, but now, it's ringing in the kitchen, it's ringing in the office, it's ringing throughout the house. So this is why it's a great upgrade for any household. And what's also nice, Helen, it's your phone, it's Eddie's phone. So you can easily, you know what's also nice?
Eddie's my husband, if you don't follow me religiously with my ins and outs of my life.
Here we go. We know it's also nice. I can be on the phone. You could be on the phone at the same time. Comfortable, speakerphone, lightweight. And that's the other thing. The technology is there, but when is the last time you upgraded your home phone? What kind of audio do you get?
Can I say something else also, since I am the senior member of you and I age-wise? I don't need my reading glasses to see the numbers on this, right? Because the numbers are nice and big. Because I need my reading, like I can't read my cards without my reading glasses. I have to write things in big letters if I want to see it because of my eyesight. It says handset, 1 new message, 2 missed calls, and it says 12:13, and it says 8:45. I can read everything on here.
Isn't that liberating?
And you know, can I say something? Remember you just said, I don't have a landline. I think almost everybody has a landline who gets internet because they usually include a landline. A lot of people don't necessarily use it, but use that landline. You're already paying for it.
And the thing is, I launched this with Adam Friedman, and he talks about they still have the landline because, you know, in case of an emergency.
We have it too because of the hurricane. Sometimes the cell service doesn't work.
Our producer was talking about how her daughter left her cell phone at, Dad's house. She had no way of reaching her. She was at home, but she could have called on the landline. So having a landline is a great backup, and this is a great way just to get those annoying calls removed without having to be bothered or be susceptible to a solicitation call. I do love the features that, it's kind of today's technology. I also got one for my sister because, yes, she has the landline and, it's his and her cell phones, but she has a dead zone. So if she's on the cell phone with me and she walks into the kitchen, she's making dinner, I'm like, can you call me back? Because it's every other word. I can call her on the cell phone. She can answer in the kitchen.
Right.
She can even put it on speakerphone. Do you do that a lot?
Yeah,
Speakerphone?
Eddie's sister lives out like in the middle of, you know, like the woods and the, you know.
As long as you, actually, this is a great point to look at the base station. As long as you keep the cell phone within that Bluetooth range of the base station, it will ring throughout the house. And one thing I like about this set, yes, this is your digital answering machine, which is awesome. Nice large buttons, nice large screen, but they even give you a USB port right down here. So you know what that means, Helen? This is what I did for my mom. So my mom gets in the habit of plugging in her cell phone right here next to the base station.
Charge your phone?
She can charge her phone right over here, so it's always going to be within that range. And then, yes, when she leaves it downstairs and she goes upstairs with her coffee and I call her on that cell phone, it's going to ring upstairs.
I love that.
Next to her bedside table or in front of the TV.
Do you know, I will say AT&T cordless phone sets we've had throughout the, you know, decades.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in a long, long time. We got these in and they are flying out the door. It is definitely something for, you know, those of us who have landlines and have a house where, like my parents, where it's that split level.
Yep.
There's, you know, the study where the bedrooms are, the kitchen,
garage.
then the basement. And it's like all over. It's like they need the 5 handsets. It's not a huge house. It's just split level, and they're not going to run down the stairs at 90.
And that's why it's great. It might not be a big house, but it's, you know, they're not moving as fast, so they can easily be called. Or, you know what, we try to call my mom every day, my sister and I, and then we'll be like, have you heard from mom? Have you heard from mom?
Right.
You know, we've called her on her cell phone, but she hasn't picked it up.
Right.
Because she's not that generation. But if I call her now, and the cute thing is, she'll pick up the phone in the kitchen. She doesn't even realize I'm calling her on her cell phone because it's that seamless of a transition, which is important.
Did you set that up for her? How hard is it to set it up?
I'm glad you asked. Boom. So what I like about, actually, this is why AT&T is so successful, not only the technology, the
I have heard of
simplicity.
that brand.
Well, that's just, do you know?
I actually get my cell service from AT&T.
So remember Bell Telephone?
Yes, of course.
Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the AT&T is all part of that whole line of history.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you the base station up close, but more importantly, you're going to notice it says right on the screen to set up smart call blocking. I do not have to read a thing, Helen. I mean, how heavenly is that?
This voice guide will assist you with the basic setup of Smart Call Blocker.
It takes you through the process.
I love it.
There's 3 different ways to block your calls, whether they're in your directory or not in your directory, out of your area code or completely unknown. So the fact that you don't even have to read the directions, awesome. Same thing with setting up your voicemail if you'd like. Remember, this would be plugged into your wall jack, or if you don't even have it, that landline, just plug it into
look
power.
Look how big that screen is, by the way. That's
It's the
another
simple
thing.
things.
It's the little things, because I was going to say, I can see that without my reading glasses, and my eyesight is such that I can't even, I mean, I can't read like a medication bottle. I can't read my cards, so I bring them out here. But I can see that. It's a big, big screen.
And it's just a perfect time to upgrade it. Bring it over to the in-laws' house, bring it over to your parents' house, bring it to your house, set it up.
Bring it to your house, yeah.
Realize how much those ringing calls are not going to be coming through at the most inopportune times, and then take advantage of that cell phone connectivity. I'm going to actually go to the other room, because I'm going to go watch some television. You can remind them about the offer.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay,
because
bye.
I'm going to leave all my,
All right, see ya.
that's the best part about it, because I don't have to bring all this with me. As long as I have one of these at the bedside table or the couch, I'm good to go.
You're good to go because it's got that connection. So you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 handsets, which is the most handsets that we've ever presented here. AT&T, obviously a brand that we all know and trust. You're saving $50 on this, so it's $129.99. Now we're doing, I believe we're doing 5 FlexPay on this, Sam. Yeah, and that 5 FlexPay, as I said, I can't see my card, so you'll tell me $26. I was just proving my point, how I literally can't see my card anymore. I should have wrote that down. $26 to get home, and the shipping and handling is $12.22. However, today it is absolutely free. So it's not like you're saving $3.50. You're saving $12.22. So 50 plus $12.22, it's $62.22 off because it's free shipping and $50 off today. Bill is somewhere, so let's see if we can find him.
Well, that's just it. I'm throughout the house, you know, you're in the kitchen doing your thing. I'm over here watching television. I got my phone right over here. Realize the phone is only gonna ring if a landline call gets through that screening process. So right now, if the spam calls are coming in, it's not bothering me as I'm watching my show because it has to get through, because this is what they're gonna hear.
Hello, calls to this number are being screened by Smart Call Blocker.
Okay, it's being screened, so it's not ringing.
Please say your name after the tone, then press pound.
I have to identify myself, press pound to get through, so all of those robocalls, all the ones we just had through the election, they won't get through. When it does ring, It gets your attention because it's been pre-screened and it's someone you want to talk to. What I also appreciate is, yes, what's great about this is nice big bold handsets and everything like that. It's my intercom. You see these voice buttons on the side? I can use push to talk, or I'm going to hit that voice assistant because that's going to take me back to my cell phone. So this connects to my cell phone and I hear the chime. Do I have a text message?
Mom said, Happy Friday. Can you believe only 12 days till Christmas?
Oh, don't.
Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say to Mom?
Have a great Friday night, Mom, and Merry Christmas. I'm sending a text message from the landline phone, or what looks like my landline phone. And it might be texting that entire message. But more importantly, that's how I'm connected to my cell phone, which is all the way across the house, down in the studio, still in the purse, which is great. All of that connectivity is awesome because, Helen, you know what happens? We're out and about, we run into someone at the market, and it's like, oh, let me get your number. And we put it in our cell phone. But then when we're sitting here on the couch, it's like, I want to call Helen, or I need to order that pizza, but I don't have it here right here. I can hit that voice button on the side, takes me back to my calendar, the weather. I can place a phone call, send that text message. Can you call the HSN PA desk?
You can change your nickname once you've set up your contact information in Siri settings.
Gotcha. That's how easy it is to connect and customize it too, which is great. So whether you're that cell phone household, I got a cell phone right over here. Because Helen, I'll be honest with you, my cell phone was more expensive than what you're getting all 5 handsets for right now. I can have my cell phone in every single room, but the best part about it is this can go with you, which is great. And as you're talking about, you can see the numbers, you can be connected. And I love the fact that, you know, you and Eddie both don't have to be like hogging the lines. You both can be on the same phone at the same time.
It's nice to have a landline in case of emergency.
Yes.
I mean, maybe you don't live in like a hurricane area like we do, but you know, you lose your cell phone, you drop your cell phone cracks, you're like crippled.
Yeah.
And so having a landline is always good. I will say that there's been other times, this is like a wild story, but my brother lives in Boston, he's a marathoner, and he was actually in that Boston Marathon when there was the bombing, and they cut off all the cell service. So I'm calling, and you couldn't get in or out or anything, but eventually my sister-in-law, she called me from her landline to my house, and that's how I knew he was okay, he's fine and everything. But it was a long time when they have the ability to cut off the cells.
And the thing is,
but they can't cut off your landline.
And having a landline is great for those emergencies, but like my family, we've had the same number for 50 years. My grandmother, bless her, she's passed away. She's still getting phone calls.
Right.
Caregivers are getting phone calls.
Right.
Because actually during the pandemic, there was a huge spike because they knew we were home. So they were calling on the landlines. And it's as simple as us picking up the phone.
I mean, the
Hello?
political calls, and just, you travel one time. I got a call yesterday, and it was a number, and I thought, oh, it's my area code. Maybe it's something I forgot about. And it was somebody with, and by the way, I know these people are nice people, and they're trying to make a living, and I don't ever want to be rude. So I would just rather have them scooch along their way to somebody who is interested to make their day better.
And I'm sure you've gone through this with your parents. My mom's definitely getting more and more, I got this message. I got this note.
And I'm like,
slow your roll.
Alarms them, exactly.
Like, they're not going to shut down your bank account and all that stuff. So this is where it's your first line of defense. Because remember, all those solicitation calls happen. And the landline is going to stop it. So this is what's going to happen. Instead of ringing the house during dinner time or during your Skype call or whatever you're doing, it's going to be blocked. So boom. All of a sudden, I'm trying to ring the setup. And the thing is, what's going to happen? It's not going to get through, which is great. Because we want to make it harder for a call to get through. And that's where it's really going to be nice. So boom, Bill's calling. Great, I'm going to pick that call up. Because that's what happens. You want to know, you notice it rang? It rang because it was on the approved list, which is awesome. So you're also hearing that feedback, which is great. I'm going to hang up the call. Boom. Yeah. But the thing is, when it gets through and you have that annoying ring, hanging up, there we go. You know it's someone on the other line. It's someone you want to talk to. So that's where it's like,
because
worth getting up.
you can program the phone with these are the numbers that I want to hear from.
Correct. And that's ring-a-ding-a-ding, which is just great. So this phone is just going off the hook, which is awesome. But what more importantly,
you're actually getting phone calls.
I'm getting those phone calls. But the thing is, you see, can you hear that audio? And that's the other thing you have to think about, is the audio that you're experiencing on your current system. Boom. That current system, you want to make sure it's going to be better audio. Here we go.
Bill, you really want to talk to yourself today.
Helen, use your eyes over here.
Look at how great that is. I would just yeah, that's the best way to do that.
Boom.
Yeah, so here you go. We are doing 5 handsets, which is the most we've ever done.
Exactly.
We don't have, I think this might be the only have you had this only presentation today, or were you on earlier today?
It's such a blur.
I know it's only, I
think we're on this morning.
This is the first time I have done a handset phone in months and months and months and months. I can't remember, but every time we have them on air, they fly out the door and we
It
sell
took us
them out.
months to get that connect-to-cell back,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
This call is still online. There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, and again,
Say your name, then press pound.
did you call yourself?
I guess I'm closing everything out. Boom, boom, boom.
There you go.
There we go. But I'm still
Bill's
connected to my cell
calling
phone.
himself, annoying himself, but he can block himself
Thank
if
you.
he wants to stop calling himself. We've just got a couple minutes left. We're actually going to do another minute. We're so busy on our phone lines. You can order digitally, which is by going to hsn.com and putting in the item number 885-689. And we also have FlexPay. Are you getting another call?
You know that song, Call Them on Their Cell Phone? Boom, just like that, which is great. There we go. The great part about it, though, is I actually love the fact that, you know, whether you have a landline, this is great. If you don't have a landline, this is also a nice upgrade for that
But
household.
most people that pay for internet also get a landline that comes with it.
Exactly.
So I will tell you that I've lived like 2 houses ago. We had a landline. We just didn't plug in a phone. But since it comes with it, we have a phone now. Like, why not just plug it
And it's
in and have it for
great backup.
emergencies? And also, I don't have this feature, Connect to the Cell, and it'll have a handset wherever you are. I love that feature because you can't carry your phone around with you like it's a pet.
Well, that's
you
just
know?
it. You
You
left
gotta
it-
let go and move on with your life.
You left it on the
know?
makeup counter because you were
Right,
charging it
exactly.
and all
Charging
that.
it. Where
but then
is
you're
it?
in
The
the
room?
kitchen,
I'm in the kitchen.
or you're outside even,
Yeah.
and you grab this handset. Remember, your cell phone rings, it will ring over here. You have a question for your cell phone, you hit that voice button. It could be send a text message, place a call, what's the weather, all that stuff. You just hold down that button, Android or Apple, doesn't matter. You get that little chime that you get very familiar with. How many days till Christmas?
It's 12 days until then.
12 days. And the thing is, this is where you get your answers and you get connected. Place that telephone call, because where are most of our phone numbers? They're in your phone, not
Yeah.
necessarily in the base station. And you can add it to the
I
directory
thought there
over
was
here.
11 days. Now I know there's 12 days. I feel much more relaxed.
Right?